ASMR video. It's been a couple months, but I appreciate you sticking with me and being patient. So, I know it's been sort of a difficult year, but I hope you're having a great holiday season. And today we're going to be jumping into an Overwatch video. So we're going to do something different, and we're going to go ahead and try to do a VOD review. So we actually had a few of the viewers in this channel send in some videos, and we have a Lucio gameplay and a Reinhardt and Zarya video as well. So I think most of these are diamond to gold rank, but that said, I'm open to any other videos you might want me to watch and, analyze your gameplay, but in an ASMR style. So you can email those at NathanASMR@gmail.com. That's NathanASMR with an S, ASMRs at gmail.com. So we're just going to jump into this right here, and let's, it's a little bit of construction in the background there. But let's go ahead and jump into this Lucio gameplay, and I think the first one is kind of a fun, just like a short video. I think there's like I glanced through it, but I think we can provide some good tips and to have some fun along the way, and then we'll really delve into a little bit more in depth with that Zarya and Reinhardt video. So let's go ahead and just jump into it right here. There we go. Okay. So, here we go. We're just gonna, I had a whole plan where I was gonna, like, do third-person view and stuff, but, the camera work just got kind of too difficult, and the video ended up being, like, an hour and a half. So, I'm just gonna do it kind of in the traditional format, but we'll do it in a very relaxing way. So let's start here with this first game and see kind of how that goes. I'm gonna keep the sound off because I think that's just a little bit more relaxing. To kind of just then I would say like listening to all the sound effects and everything. So let's go here. Let's start here. Okay, so we have our match here. We have Lucio, Zarya, Anna, and May, and Brigitte, Farah, Winston, and Lucio. So let's go and play this out here. Looks like a relatively short match. So I think the thing with Lucio that's really important is deciding how you want to play him, and I think that's true with all the characters. There's so many different styles, and I think they can all be effective in their own way. For me, I prefer to play Lucio sort of with my team, but I do know a lot of other people who prefer to play him sort of more Reddit styled, and I think that can work. Let's just see how you choose to pull this off here. Okay, so the first thing that we're noticing here is you're starting a man down. So thanks, Jeff. That's really unfortunate. And yeah, that's all there's to say about that. So we're gonna pop in here. Now you're choosing to sort of, okay, dude, that's a good move. You're going back to your Brigitte. I think a really important job for Lucio is to be watching out for his other teammates, especially like an Ana or something. He can really get there in the match. Not only can he speed boost her out and keep her in safety, but he can also, keep her alive so she can help others. It's like, I find him staying sort of close to an Ana, for example, can help him boop away enemies and things like that. Okay, but let's just go ahead and get into it here. You're going in, okay. Going a little bit Reddit here. So you're really trying to go for that Ash. Okay, so, I mean, there's really nothing you can do because you're down a player. However, had you waited for the 6th player here, you might have gone in 30 seconds later, but you would have saved yourself a fight. And I think at a high enough level, you know, thinking about things like those details really do make a difference. I find that can be really helpful. As you can see, your Reapers here, you have low heals. Lucio Can, you know, I think really does best when he's paired with a main healer. This can work at this high damage kind of composition. I've made it work, but again, it requires the right team. And again, you have a Farah here, so that's sort of in a Reinhardt, which is kind of just not a great combination in general. But at least this point, you have a full team, so that's good too. So let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so you've wiped, and you know, I mean, let's cut back here. I mean, you might have been better served to, you know, sometimes the best option is to not go in. You know, you got aggressive and you thought maybe you could get a kill. It was unlikely in that event. So, you know, I'm being a little harsh because I really want you to improve, and you were mentioning you wanted to rank up. So I think when you're really trying to get into the higher ranks, I think little details matter so much. I've said this in other videos, but you know, a really high level player, it's not that they necessarily make amazing plays all the time. It's more that they're consistent. So while someone who's in gold might die 5-10 times, that's just an example. Someone who's a GM might die like 2 or something like that. So let's go ahead and continue, because again, you could have stayed alive, built up your old charge, and had a different outcome here. But I have a feeling this game is going to turn out differently at the end regardless. But, you know, we can use it as a learning experience as well. So, for the speed, and again, you know, I mean, if you are waiting for your team. No, I do like that you waited for your team. That's important. You didn't read it as hard right there, so that was good. Let's move on here. Okay, so we push onto the point here, and we have a heal. So, you know, that was a good pressure on the back line. I think that it is good that you have this Winston who's diving with you, and so you're going to get the skill here. But again, you know, it's my opinion that you can be better served sometimes sort of holding back. Again, I'm a more defensive kind of Lucio, I would say, probably because I play other supports more frequently. So maybe that's just my thinking. So, okay, let's see here. Okay, so you sort of, it's okay, interesting poke damage here. So just synergizing with the Winston. So, you know, I think one thing we can see here is that in a different situation against high-ranked sort of competition, that I think you would find that they might might get a shot off on you here. I mean, you can't see where they are behind you, but the whole team was behind you, and they have an Ashe, and a Mei, and an Ana, and they could easily pick you off if it was a higher rank. So that's sort of my qualm with the aggressive Lucio play. Just that, you're leaving a lot to chance, because sometimes, you underestimate your opponents. So yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue going from there. Okay, so sort of hanging back there with your Reaper. I don't mind your positioning here, it's not bad. Okay, that was, solid. Let's actually go back. I mean, we're just going to pop back here really quickly. Because I think... Okay, see, now there, your Reinhardt needed more assistance. You see you're on speed boost coming right here. He might have probably died anyway. It's hard to say. You did have your heal boost right here. So your cooldown was up. If you had been a little bit less aggro, you possibly could have saved this Ryan here. Maybe the pressure on the front line would have been less. Yeah, just a little bit late on that. Looks like you held this fight, I mean, either way, so it didn't really matter in the end. Okay, and that was a nice sequence of jumps right there, very nice. Looks like you're... Yeah, I mean, so... I mean, you can see here your team is engaging with the other team. You're here 1v1ing a Moira, which is a risk. I mean, that's... I, as a Moira, probably would not lose that duel. I mean, so if it was really low rank, then I think that makes sense. I mean, again, I prefer not, just because you think about you're with your team, you're healing them significantly. So, again, alright, so you managed to pull off a really interesting boop. My thoughts on that are that it's hard to pull them off in the higher ranks. That's so, that was an awesome boop, but is that going to work against the top 500 Moira? Probably not. So I think, when you're deciding how you want to play this game, there's fun, and then there's, trying to focus on ranking up. And I mean, at some point, I think those two things collide. But, and in the instance of this video, I think it's best that, you try to play smart in general. Good habit allows you to break the rules a little bit more. So, I should add that disclaimer, but nice boop, that all said. So we're popping back in here. So, we didn't really need the healing boost there. You did use it, but everyone was mostly healed, so you have a 12-second cooldown here. And I think, managing your abilities can be very helpful, especially to try to get to the higher rank. And you do have your ult here, which is very useful. We can see they've got their grav, and they have their Lucio ult as well, and their Mei ult. So, let's not, hopefully this next play you guys don't waste 4 of your ults right now, or 3 ults. Let's keep going. So, I would have probably not used it there. I probably would have waited for the grav, because it's coming. the same time, this is the last fight. Theoretically, like, if you win this fight, they can't really get back on time without a ball or something. So I would say, yeah, maybe I would have held it there and used it on the Zariel, but let's see what happens. It looks like they don't have any forward momentum, so I think sort of interesting flank here. See, I think this was a mistake only because, again, you're getting fancy, but and then they should use the grab, so you lost that fight basically, like we were talking about. But also, you're off in no man's land here. You're not necessarily like, what are we doing over here? I'm not sure if actually you're adding much, and they're with Winston's down, so now they're down 2, so they really got 4 against 6 here, and they're probably gonna lose this fight. You're riding back. Okay, he managed to get in on this May. Yeah, I mean, so this worked in this situation, but I think if this had been a higher rank, that you have to think about the things you can control and not necessarily because again, it doesn't really matter, it's a game and everything. You're trying to have fun, but when you do want to rank up, I do think these little things add up, like throughout the whole match. It really can make a difference. Poor Fair. Okay. It looks like you're going to be able to pull this off here. Yeah, so that was a good round. It was a good comeback. I mean, we didn't see the other team, so they made a lot more mistakes ultimately, but the things that we saw right there in that first round were the things that I would have worked on. I would have held back a little bit more, really focus on my team. Okay, so now we're coming back to the next round, and there's a Junkrat there. I mean, again, I think in this rank you don't see a lot of countering. You have a Pharah, so it is unclear. I mean, I guess the Junkrat is for the Winston and the Reaper. But some interesting choices of composition here. I wouldn't say this is a winning. I mean, the other team, they've really chosen the wrong thing. But that's what you get at this rank, so that's okay. But even into high ranks, it is what it is. People choose what they want, and they, and ultimately, at the end of the day, it's about having fun. Okay, so we're going to sort of ride or die on the walls there, looking for that side boop. Yeah, I mean, the other team just seems really weak here. They don't have a good front line. They have a Winston. Sorry, I think it's really hard for them to push forward at all. And then they didn't really go any hit scan. Just going back to Diva. Okay, so I mean, on this play, I feel like I would not have done it personally. If this Zarya had been decent, they probably would have turned and melted you. Or I think even this Reaper here could have turned and pretty much demolished you. Against this rank, it does probably, you're not going to get punished, but definitely at a Masters, even Diamond, I would say you're going to, especially if they go McCree, they can stun you, a Sombra can hack you. There's so many different ways that you could really get hurt here. So this looks fun, but definitely risky. I would not have done it in a regular match. Now see there, see now the whole team over there. You've lost your Pharah and you're over here. Speed boosting. There's a lot of heals you're not getting in because you're not over there. That's my philosophy. I mean, so I'm teaching you sort of from that perspective. Let's move in a little bit more here. Okay, so we're gonna push in here with the Reinhardt. That's good synergy right there. I like that. Thank you. That's really good. Good follow through. I do think here again you are getting a little aggressive. If you had been in a higher rank again, you could have gotten stunned and killed here. But you know, it doesn't look like anything's gonna happen here, and so you're gonna close out that diva, which is good. But just something to consider. You know, because you still could have maybe gotten this kill either way and not taken the high risk. Just something to think about when you're trying to move up into those higher ranks. So kill her. Okay. Oh, so they sort of got split. I'm not really sure what they were thinking. Okay, nice punches, very nice. Those were solid. I like that. Okay, so we're gonna. You know, I'm not sure that we needed that right there, especially because you're sort of spawn camping them. Just see how it plays out for you. Looks like it was not going to matter because the other team sort of. You know, and one thing I'm going to add here is sometimes it's not over till it's over. Sometimes you get complacent, and I find that sometimes, like, okay, the other team was like, we've got this in the bag. And I think that's my thought, because I've been on the other team, and you're like, yes, this is it. And I think that was a mistake, because ultimately now, look, I think that may have made them a little complacent. They had that first initial fight where they just stomped you, and then after that, once your other player came, I think they were thrown off guard. I think that was helpful for you. So we're going to continue here. I definitely would not have done this in the higher rank, but you just are abusing them at this point. So, let's see here. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Well, at the end of the day, they just lost shape. I mean, and one thing you can see here, just for the other team, is that they're sort of trickling out. And they're not really, they switched really late. This Reaper, I don't know why they still have the Reaper right now. Mainly because he hasn't really been effective. And that's one thing, is like sometimes it doesn't matter how good you are at a certain character. You need to switch and do it quickly, because you only have limited, I mean, there's only say a couple fights per round. So he's really losing out on that chance, that other Reaper. So let's continue. But we don't want him to win. We want Favonis to do well here. So okay, they used a lot of ults there. Looks like 3 ults. I think they didn't have a choice. They probably could have just used the Zarya ult there and been okay. And so wall riding here, I think, you know, I'm not a fan of the wall riding here, just because, again, your team, you're kind of leaving your team hanging here. Don't think it's going to matter in this match, but in general, that's sort of my thinking. It's tempting because it's fun, but, you know, I don't think the results are as good. Looking for that big boop. And definitely on this map, I mean, Lucio is very good. He's map dependent, so, you know, he's really good on the well. He's really good on this map here. And maps where there's boops, he just crushes it. So here we are. I like that little corner. That's a great corner. If you are on this map, that corner, like riding in there, is nice, and along that wall there can be really effective. Yeah, I think they've lost this. I mean, so they've lost 2 players. I mean, this looks like it's going to be the end here for you guys. So, it looks like they're going to come in. Yep, man. Here comes a Reinhardt hammer. It's desperation moves here. You know, and your team did adjust really well comparatively to the other team. I mean, you know, you guys had a good group comp, and their team just really didn't respond. And that's a thing I should add about Lucio is he can be countered, and when you find yourself in that situation, like I find as when I play Sombra, she's really good against Lucio, just hacks him and melts him. A good Hanzo can really mess up a Lucio, but I think that that's something that you need to be thinking about. If you're countered, you should be switching. All right, so let's continue here and finish off this last minute. Looks like, yep, man, it's a victory. Congratulations. You played well. I think that what you really could have worked on there was being with your team, thinking about what value are you bringing to your teammates. Like, your 1 kill, it's a certain amount of, like, it's a certain percentage. But if you're helping your whole team, you know, you're providing more value. And again, like, your main DPS can provide more kills. It can do more damage. You know, and you keeping them alive allows them to do more. And that's that thing with Lucio, I think, is you have to trade off between booping and healing, you know, when you're going to be with your team. I think Zenyatta has that issue too. And so I think, you know, but at least with Zenyatta, you can throw an orb and not think about it for a little bit. But with Lucio, it's a very active play. So, you know, with his ult, it's just really good to save it for that perfect moment. Don't get baited to using that, because again, it's a lifesaver. It's one of the best defensive ults in the game. And you know, I think you did really well. You know, with regards to your movement, I think the main thing is just thinking more about when you're using your ult to have the most effective result, and when you might need to switch off Lucio, because again, he can be countered and you have to be ready for that. Like, maybe you have to go BAP or something like that. And thirdly, you know, just overall, it's all about balance. So I think you did great, and I really appreciate you sending this in. So let's, you know, call it. All right. Well, that was fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me, and I had a great time watching this. Bonus, you did great. You have a lot of potential. I think you said you got diamond, but I think you could get masters if you really focus on the value that you're bringing to your team. I think with Lucio, one of the things is that you're really focusing on your individual play and your movement, but also when you're using your ult. Are you using it for that May Blizzard or for the Zarya? I mean, I know which one I would choose in general, but you need to be asking those questions. And then I think, when are you going to switch off Lucio if he's getting countered again? Because that's part of knowing Lucio, is knowing when, you know, things aren't going so well. But that's it. The next video will be a Reinhardt Zarya video. It'll be another one of the people who watches the channel. I'm really excited. That video is about 30 minutes of gameplay, so maybe about an hour. But this is just the beginning, and I apologize for some of the background noise, but you know, I think that you know, I'm just glad to be back. And all that said, have a great night, and I'll have a great Christmas as well.